Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel, we continue to spotlight the amazing things happening in our school district.
And we head back to the South Plains Fair to show off our final stories.
Plus, we have your sports connection with Carson Ward and weather with Hunter McKenzie.
All this and more coming up on our 6th live edition of Reel to Reel.
This is Reel to Reel going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Reel to Reel. I'm Lily Tony, a junior from Lubbock High School.
And I'm Bella Christodoulou, a senior from Coronado.
Bella, let's start off the show by looking at some of the things that are going on in our district.
Sure thing. We start out with Fire Prevention Week as young Lubbock ISD students, along with Mully crew, learn about fire safety. Just a few days ago, thanks to the Lubbock Fire Department for this awesome opportunity for young students.
And over at Wheelock Elementary, the Hispanic Heritage Month celebration continues on as they had a spooky taste of Hispanic culture. As children's author and Wheelock alum Laykin Zay Kemp presented a mythological creature from Hispanic legends and read a chapter of her new book. And Bella, I think that was a fun time.
I bet it was. And in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, let's throw it back to this past summer's National Spelling Bee in El Paso, where we had 2 qualifiers represent Lubbock ISD. Allison Mora from Atkins and Yesneli Martinez from Bean Elementary. That's too cool. Lily, do you know Spanish well enough to do that?
No chance. Congrats to them and keeping it with our amazing district. But to our teachers, this past week, Mrs. Baird's and United Supermarkets named their first teachers on the Rise winners of the school year, as Veronica Valdez from Dunbar College Prep Academy and April Saucetta from Waters Elementary were both given the award. Congrats to these 2 deserving educators.
Now, from our teachers to our principals, it's National Principals Month. And a few Lubbock ISD TV staff members went to visit schools in each feeder patterns to secretly interview them about their principals.
Our principal is Marty Makuta. She sometimes doesn't take credit for the things that she's able to accomplish.
She definitely changed my course in my teaching career.
She truly grows leaders. Marty has a way of looking inside of a person and knowing what their strengths are. Even though we don't know what they are,
she finds people's strengths and lets them really flourish to become the best that they can be.
Miss Makuta would say that she's only as good as the people around her. And so she would probably describe herself as a pretty awesome person because that's how she describes us.
any type of success that is here at Cavazos that maybe is due to her, she shares that.
Thank you, Miss Makuta, for taking a chance on a rookie teacher.
You are the foundation of our school and you do everything to elevate everyone around you.
I really appreciate you and all the opportunities that you've given me and that you give your staff.
I'm so grateful that Cavazos is my home, and I'm so grateful to have a leader like you.
Thank you, Marty, for everything that you do for me and for all the students and staff members here at Cavazos.
Happy National Principals Month.
You have to love to see how much the teachers love their principal.
You really do. And the Cavazos Fido pattern isn't the only one we visited.
That's right. Next we go to Irvin Elementary and Principal Jocelyn Cotton.
Our principal here at Irvin is Jocelyn Cotton.
She's just a really good leader.
I really like her dedication to the staff and the students.
We're a family here.
She promotes academic success for all students, and she believes that all students can excel.
She's all about problem solving. You know, I come up against some things in special education that are I need some help with, and she walks me through the solutions.
I actually want to be a principal, and so she has given me a lot of her time to show me the way and help me with my different field experience hours for school.
She believes in our purpose and our calling as teachers and educators.
She has taught me the way of the classroom, showed me different strategies and things I can do to be successful.
Our cheerleader and our support.
She's helped me with classroom management.
Wherever anybody needs her, she's there for us.
I just want to say that you are amazing. I definitely have enjoyed all of these years working under you.
Ms. Cotton, thank you so much for your support, helping me be a better teacher and a better faculty member to everyone else.
I couldn't have asked for anyone better.
Happy National Principals Month.
Final look at our school celebration. Our principals in the newscast come from Smith Elementary as we surprised Miss Jackie Underwood the other day.
They really did. The student council brought her breakfast and a thank you principal message from her whole school. And you love to see that.
You really do. And that's going to do it for our A block of the show.
Yes, it is. And still to come on the 8th edition of Riddle Reel, we head over to the Sports Connection with Carson Ward.
But first, we have more from the South Plains Fair as we showcase our stories from when we went there a few weeks ago.
From food to rides, we have all the stories. Next on Riddle Reel, only on Lubbock ISD TV.
With Lubbock ISD TV, our fans can always check out the highlights of all our shows and sports broadcasts by following our social media. Super fans can get even more access by watching live streams, video on demand, and more on our website. And for our fanatics who still can't get enough of Lubbock ISD TV, we have uncut footage of Caleb Galbraith making a sandwich, just for you. Keep up to date with all things Lubbock ISD TV on all our platforms.
I just work here.
As football season begins to kick off, Lubbock High School unleashes their ultimate morale boosters, the Rough Riders. The Rough Riders have been described as something between a cheerleader and a mascot, having been a part of the game day tradition since the very beginning, always being seen creating hype with the cheer team and pom squad. The Rough Riders are notorious for their high energy throughout the entirety of the game, as well as pep rallies, somehow managing to keep an army of Westerners excited throughout hours and hours worth of chants and cheers. Loved by most students and staff alike, the Rough Riders are an integral part of Lubbock High's sports division and its history, representing the unique tenacity and never-give-up attitude that the Westerners show in every game. Sportsmanship, then victory. Go Westerners!
Talkington is a school that prides itself on its excellence in and focus on academics. However, in recent years, Talkington has become more diverse in its courses, bringing in more art classes such as sculpting arts at the beginning of this year. The newest addition to this arts program is the construction of the auditorium, which is coming to a finish in November of this year. Since the construction time bled into the school year, a temporary wall went up to keep the students from wandering into the active construction site, which presented Talkington's art program with a unique opportunity.
The first week of school, Miss Wyatt, our principal, came and asked me if we would be interested in painting the temporary wall that's going up between the Fine Arts Wing and the new auditorium that will be unveiled in October. And of course I said yes, because I thought that would be really fun to do. So because it's a temporary wall, it'll be knocked down between, at some point at the end of October, between the Fine Arts hallway here and our new auditorium lobby. We did an 80s theme with Mario and Ronald Reagan and a few other well-known 80s artists that are on there, like Andy Warhol, Basquiat, Keith Haring. So I thought it would be fun just to kind of incorporate that into a wall that's going to be torn down eventually.
Even though the wall is temporary, many students at Talkington have grown to love this little addition to the school and have left their mark on this wall.
If you see in the corner over there, like this one right here, the little Banksy rat on the corner, I got to paint that, and I felt really special for painting it because it was like Miss Moore's favorite part, so I was like, that's me, I painted it.
This wall is a curtain for the auditorium, and although the students at Talkington will be sad to see it permanently lifted, the outcome will be a big step for Talkington as a whole. For Lubbock ISD, I'm Emma Feist.
Welcome back to Real to Real. You know, Lily, when we went to the fair a couple weeks ago, it was so much fun.
It really was. And before we went, Mr. Ward challenged us by handing out random focus statements.
A focus statement gives us a direction for our stories, and we had 2 days to make videos on that topic.
Our first story is about one of the many ministry-based nonprofits at the fair.
This one in particular had some amazing workers that gave it extra special. Our very own Caleb Galbraith has the story.
We're at Holy Meatballs. We are a ministry locally from Lubbock, Texas. We travel and we do a lot of Christian ministries at different festivals around the U.S. And at any given time, we can get a call from like, let's go do the Atlanta Fest, and we'll start the Atlanta Fest. And when we're on stage, they look for Stephen to get the crowd pumped up and get the crowd into it. But in addition, get the ministry pumped up and get them into it as well. And so I bring that energy and that vibe toward anybody I come in contact with.
This is Steven Simpson, and while his friend Jeremy calls him a jokester,
plays around a lot, laughs a lot, makes fun of me.
he and his team working at Holy Meatball and Freedom Philly work hard and are committed to the community of nonprofits at the fair.
Jeremy's getting those batters going, and usually I'm taking them out and running them all of the different places that we supply to.
All the batters at the corn dogs, the cheese sticks for the nonprofit organizations, we make it here.
And while the food is good, their mission is even sweeter.
The mission statement is to build relationship. And so I thank God you guys are here, and that's why I couldn't turn that down. Build relationships with everyone. And so no matter what their belief is, what their background is, we just want to build a relationship and show them the love of Christ in us. And so that's basically who we are.
We even headed over to Freedom Philly to interview Alex Gonzalez, who commented on what the experience being in a nonprofit faith-based workplace was like.
Oh man, it's been awesome. So like every morning we start with the prayer. During the day, you're hearing people thank the Lord and, just drawing you closer to Him in the Spirit. It's one of a kind, for sure.
There's a lot going on every year here at the South Plains Fair, but my favorite place is to hang out, where you can find a smiling face and incredible food. For Lubbock ISD TV, I'm Caleb Galbraith.
That food looked so good, right, Bella?
Absolutely. The fair food is always good, but we can't forget about the big fair rides.
That's right. One of our groups got the focus statement of big attractions. Our very own Micah Papas has more.
It's no secret when people think of the fair, they think of food, games, but most of all, big rides. So no matter what you enjoy, food or rides, animals or games, there's a big attraction for everyone.
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know, man, actually. I'll go with classic Ferris wheel.
For many Lubbock residents, this brings back childhood memories of a local theme park. Unfortunately, Joyland has just recently closed, but its memories will never fade.
Actually, no, like Joyland, man, I grew up with Joyland. It was actually really fun as a kid. It's sad to see it closing now, it really is. Hopefully they do something better with it, That'll be awesome to see some maybe new rides, somebody actually invested into it. But I've been coming here since I was a kid, so I really do enjoy it. Here brings back a lot of memories for me.
For those who aren't big fans of roller coasters, there are many other free attractions.
There's a lot of great shows. Basically what we do is we try to bring in about a little over $100,000 in what we call free entertainment.
So no matter what you enjoy, food or rides, animals or games, there is a big attraction for everyone.
A great story, but watching all these fair packages makes me pretty hungry.
Me too. Speaking of hungry, Emma, Abby, and Hunter were tasked with finding a story over the food stands with a nonprofit focus at the fair.
Sounds delicious. Let's take a look at what they found.
The fair is a place many people go for the experience you can have, the rides you can ride, and most importantly, the food you can eat. The thing that makes the fair food stand out is its uniqueness to the fair and its foreignness to Lubbock.
Turkey legs we get from a company in Plains, Texas, believe it or not, and we have them shipped in. Obviously, they're frozen when they come in. And so when we get them, we have to kind of help thaw out in a refrigerator to a certain temperature. Most of the time, they come a little frosted.
However, a lot of the simple fair food vendors have a purpose beyond just selling their products.
Well, for us, we use it to raise, this is our biggest fundraiser every year. We raise funds for LCU, and this is where we get the most money from this one right here. So
Our vision is building families, restoring hope, inspiring dreams. And so we do that through just practical things like a GED program, help people get their high school diploma, clothing ministry, we have a food ministry, we have a haircut ministry. So all those takes funds to be able to run those. And so this stand helps us by, just supplementing our budget and just saying, hey, here's how we can buy food and how we can, just operate the Dream Center. So, yeah.
We're, I guess, married with our partnership with the Family Association. They actually own the booth, okay, the physical booth, but they don't have enough people to do the volunteer work on it. So we teamed up with them to do the volunteer, and then we split the profits, and then of course the profits are used toward the clients.
With many purposes beyond just feeding hungry fairgoers, the vendors give a new meaning to fair food itself. For Lubbock ISD TV, I'm Abigail Garcia.
Great story on the food. And when I do think of fair food, I do think of turkey legs.
I agree. I also think of sweets like funnel cakes, fried Oreos, and even candy.
Yeah, and the story we're about to tell you is about one of the vendors who hits the road every week and travels with the fair to sell his unique candy. The South Plains Fair is a perfect way to spend an afternoon.
It's mainly a family-friendly environment. That's the thing about the fair. It's generations. You have grandmas and grandpas bring their grandkids, their kids, so they continue that tradition. A unique thing is the food. They're all local nonprofit organizations, so we help give back almost $1 million in the community.
But not all vendors go back to nonprofit.
The more they buy, the more I like interacting with them. If they don't buy, I don't really like interacting with them. It's all about how much money I can make. I'm here for the money. It's all about the Benjamins.
Even though he's all about the money, he has a unique candy line you can't get anywhere else.
Candy comes from Spain, travel around and try to sell candy. Can't get it at Walmart or Target or anywhere else.
Just like the name of his store, he goes both ways.
Yeah, so you don't mind me giving you a taste out of my pocket, but then you don't want to even eat it. Sweet cherry. Good times never seemed so good.
For Lubbock ISD TV, Bella Christodoulou.
You know, Bella, our lunch period was just before this class, but I think I could go for some candy even after seeing that story.
For real. And we do want to say thank you to the South Plains Fair for allowing us to go and tell those stories.
Yes, thank you so much. Now let's transition to weather.
You know, Lily, our weather's been crazy lately. Some days hot and others cool and rainy. Let's go over to Hunter McKenzie on the weather set. Hunter, does this trend continue?
Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm afraid so. As we drive into our 5-day forecast, it looks like your stereotypical Lubbock day. But in a week's forecast, today and tomorrow will have a high in the low 80s, but take a dip in the temp for Sunday, as we have a high in the 60s and an 80% chance of rain for Sunday. Now those chances will continue into Monday. So far, for my fellow classmates, make sure you have an umbrella handy for the 17th, and things will be partly cloudy on the following Tuesday. Now let's transition into our game day forecast, as we have a double header today at Lowry Field. Temps around 4 p.m. Game will be around 80 degrees with a 14-mile-per-hour wind out of the southwest. It won't cool down much until the night game. Of course, that kicks off at 8 p.m. And it will be cool 72 at kickoff. But we'll dip down to around 68 when the game ends. So make sure you bring a light jacket to the Estacado game. Now, of course, we look at our extended forecast for the South Plains. If this doesn't scream fall weather, I don't know what does. High in the low 70s and lows in the upper 40s to low 50s. So to answer your question, will this crazy weather stop? Well, it doesn't appear to do this week. But in our extended forecast shows, things will be looking more like fall in our upcoming weather.
I am looking forward to Sunday now. I love the smell of rain and all the rainbows.
Me too. Thanks so much, Hunter.
Yes, thank you so much. And still to come on this edition of Reel to Reel, we're keeping it real with Mr. Ward.
But first, we have the Sports Connection with Carson. You won't want to miss that, only on Reel to Reel.
She's a close friend of
This beautiful school you're looking at right now is Whiteside Elementary. Opened in August of 1983, it's one of the most highly rated schools in Lubbock. Let's take a look around. We had the opportunity to sit down with the principal, Miss Brandy Lay, and talk to her about why she loves her job so much. Here she is.
So I had this really great opportunity to have been a teacher at Whiteside Elementary. So about 20 years ago, I taught 3rd grade here. And then I left Whiteside and went to be a counselor at a middle school. And then I had the great opportunity to return to Whiteside as the principal, and this is my 6th year as the principal here.
Getting to go to the school again was an amazing opportunity. The school, faculty, and especially the students are as great as they've always been. This was Whiteside Elementary.
So mock trial is here in Lubbock we have a local competition where students get to go out and have a mock court case that they go in and they compete against other schools. So here at the ATC this year we're going to have a mock trial team of about 12 students that are going to be a part of our team. So with mock trial it's a team competition, so you usually get 2 rounds. But every part of the performance that is put forth in the mock trial competition, everybody gets points, from the opening statement to the direct examination to the witness, and how well they play that character, how well they know their testimony, how well they handle cross-examination. Then we get into our closing arguments, and that's, you go in and you're trying to prove your case to the jury. And so everything's involved, but with this point scale, it's a team effort. You're gonna have your prosecution team gonna compete one night, and then your defense team is also gonna compete. So it's a team effort, and we're excited about it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be some hard work and some trial and error. We're gonna learn a lot, but the students can get that full experience of what it's like to be an attorney by being a part of this competition. A lot of times they go into law school and never have the opportunity to be in the courtroom. They're going to have an opportunity to be in the courtroom this year. And they could be a part of Texas Tech has a mock trial team. We're going to try to go out and observe them this year whenever they have their mock trial competition. We get to observe the final round, but the more experience that these kids get now at this time, they'll know if that's a career that they want to pursue.
Right, that's what the ATC is.
That's what it's all about. Yes, sir.
Real to real. I'm Carson Ward with Your Sports Connection. J.J. Watt once said, "Success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every day." And right now, our Lubbock ISD teams are working hard to pay that rent, as we are in the heart of district play. Here come the Mustangs as they host Amarillo High in a big district game. We'll start things off in the second half, as it was the running game that started things off for the Mustangs. Demarion Finch had a huge carry of 95 yards to the house. After that, the fans were amped up about the touchdown run. To the fourth quarter we go, and Demarion Finch punching and twisting his way into the end zone. The Palm Squad getting the student section hyped after that touchdown run. And then the defense was the last thing we wanted to shine a line on, because they stepped up down 10 points and only allowing 7 the rest of the game. The final score, 28-17. Now we give it back to Abigail Garcia on the sidelines.
All right, Coach, ending the game with 28-17. That's a huge district win.
Yeah, our kids worked hard. We wanted to win so bad, and they wanted to win for each other, and I'm just super proud of them.
Yeah, and the difference from the beginning when y'all were down 10 and ending the game winning with 28-17, how was that?
We found a way to run the ball, and that was very important. You know, we said we got to run the ball and be physical, and the kids did that, and we were successful.
All right, and what is your view for the future of Coronado Mustangs?
We want to win 3 more. That's the goal. We want to win 3 more. We want to make the playoffs. This season hadn't started the way we want, but it's all about how you finish.
All right, thank you, Coach Mann. Back to you.
Great win for the Mustangs. And with that, let's take a look at this week's and next week's games. Tonight, as you heard earlier in weather, we have a doubleheader with Lubbock High facing off against Plainview at 4 p.m. That game will be streamed on the NFHS network. And another game that night with Estacado going against Andrews at 8 p.m. That game will be replayed on LISD TV all weekend long. Finally, next week on Friday, we have Lubbock Cooper versus Monterey at 7 p.m. And over on the tennis courts, the Lubbock High Westerners have great news, as they have won the 2022 5A by-district championship match. As we see in the picture, it shows it all, as they played Amarillo Caprock over in Plainview and left with a 19-0 victory. Congrats to the Westerners on the victory. You know, winning anything is so hard, but to get the sweep over Caprock is big news.
That is so true. Thank you so much, Carson. And still to come on this live edition of Reel to Reel, we put a bow on the show with Mr. Ward keeping it real.
What does he have to say this week? Well, we will just have to wait and see right after this short commercial.
The state of Texas has over 100 high school football teams in the state, but one team, Monterey Plainsmen, has a special guy who they can always rely on. Number 12, Jaden Hibbler.
He's a well-versed player. You know, he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he can, run the ball obviously pretty well. And that's probably his contribution to the team.
Jaden Hibbler has been Monterey's running back since he was a freshman and has over 1,000 yards accumulated from his 3 years being there. However, football to Jaden is much more than running the ball and scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, I've been playing football since I was about 5 years old. Been growing up playing football. It's just been running through the family, and football, it just gets a lot of things off my mind. It just, it distracts me from school, and it just gets my mind on football. That's it.
While many people may not see the connection Hibbler makes with his teammates and only see him as the one who carries the team, Hibbler has something different to say on the matter.
It's just, I wouldn't say I make an impact. It's just we all make an impact as a team. Football is a team sport. You got to have 11 men on the field. You got to have 11 men to the ball at all times, and you just got to play as a team.
Welcome back to Reel, only on Lubbock ISD TV. This week on Keeping It Real, I want to talk about how we are always busy here at the TV station and how awesome our students, your students, have been throughout the start of this school year. You see, we were fresh off of making our trips to the South Plains Fair and making videos where we had a tough deadline, and not a day later, we jumped in headfirst into our Student Television Horror Fest competition. You see, this is a goal for our station this year, which is to compete with our students in every student television competition that they drop. And this is one of my favorites, and that's because, for some reason, students like making scary films. Now, for me personally, I'm a scaredy cat. But hey, whatever gets them excited, I'm all in. And since we started the pre-production process, I've seen a genuine enthusiasm to make these. And traditionally, where there's excitement, that means we're going to see some great videos. And so, I can't wait. Of course, you're going to get to see these videos here on Reel to Reel, maybe not next episode, but for sure the week after. Of course, we have a lot more in store for the rest of this year with Student Television Network and their competitions. And I'm pumped for what we have for that because we have a special group here at the station, and I know they're going to shine. Now that's me, Mr. Ward, keeping it real, only on Reel to Reel. I'll send it back to our team of 4 at the desk.
Thanks so much, Mr. Ward. And before we wrap up the show, Hunter, let's have one last look at our forecast.
Today and tomorrow we'll have a high in the low 80s, but take a look at the dip in temperatures for Sunday, as we have a high in the low 60s and 80% chance of rain for Sunday. Now those chances will continue into Monday, so for my fellow classmates, make sure you have an umbrella handy for the 17th.
Great stuff there, Hunter. And that's going to do it for today's show.
Yes, and we want to thank you for this time, for the time this time.
Our morning class looks forward to bringing you more next week.
But until then, we hope you stay happy and healthy.
This has been a production of the students and staff at Lubbock ISD TV.